All right. I just taking a look at our agenda quickly. We're going to get started with our minutes from last time. Then we'll hear from Ms. Fox for our principal's report. We have a quick Title I update, a few things to discuss for our president's report. We'll hear our financial standing, and then we'll get into any older new business that folks would like to address. So I believe, Jody, did you share the minutes in the chat?
Yeah. Not sure.
Okay, thank you. I know. Hi, Miss Harrison. I know Jody sent the minutes in the PTA WhatsApp group, but he's going to share it in the chat here too. Was anyone able to take a minute and look at the notes from last meeting? If not, no problem. We'll take a minute now and give folks a chance to just take a quick look. Okay, so go ahead and take a minute to look through those minutes from last month, and I'll ask for approval of those minutes in just a minute. All right, any proposed changes to our minutes from last meeting? I'm going to take silence as approval. Great. Thank you, Phil. Any proposed changes to the agenda?
No.
Appreciate it. All of our upcoming events we'll discuss in the President's Report section. Okay, so then our minutes pass as written, our agenda passes as written. Miss Kelly is joining. It looks like she got kicked out for a second, but Miss Kelly is here. So Miss Kelly, whenever you're ready, we can get into our principal's report. Oh no, I think we lost her again. All right, let's give her a minute. Oh, no, she's there.
I'm back.
Oh, there you are.
My laptop always decides to restart. So I was on my phone, but I was at my computer. My laptop came back on. Good evening, all. Thank you for joining the PTA meeting. Thank you to our PTA board and all the work they do in setting this up. I know how crazy it is with every daily work, daily family, and all of that. I wanted to just see if there is translation or it's connected where it's automatically happening, just so I don't keep talking without giving time for a translation.
It looks to me like the automatic translation is working this time, which is great. Can someone else who speaks Spanish let me know if it's accurate or not before we keep going?
Yeah, it's working perfectly. And I know I mentioned Cassie, if we need anything, I'm here. If we need translating as well.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Okay, no worries.
Yes, we've been adding our staff to come to translate to different events just so it's easier. because as parents, I know you guys want to be able to enjoy the event or actively participate, and to go back and forth. It's tough as you're listening and absorbing. Now you have to go back. So going forward, we'll try to make sure we have someone on that could translate in the languages we need, and eventually get to a system where even in person that it's an automatic thing. We've been looking in devices. Okay, I'm not going to take much of everyone's time tonight. I just want to thank you if you got your child to school yesterday. Attendance matters, every day matters. We had lots of teachers that were able to make it in. Unfortunately, some teachers couldn't get in because they were not plowed out yet, or they had their own issues where their child's school was closed and couldn't find anyone to watch them. So I do appreciate and understand whether they were made it to school or did not. We have some additional programs starting this week, and it's a STEAM program and invitations went out, and it's provided for students with temporary and temporary housing, but we will be opening it up to additional students once we have the initial count of students that will be coming. And they'll be doing science, math, technology, some arts, activities all mixed in together. And that will be running Thursday and Friday mornings through the beginning of May. And then academically, we will be doing for grades 3 through 5, a Saturday program in March in PS 60. And then an additional academic program during Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday during the spring break for academic, like an academic test prep boot camp. And that's once again for students in grades 3, 4, and 5. Tomorrow is our first mock ELA exam, and that is given by the district. So every student in District 27 in grades 3, 4, and 5 will be taking an ELA mock exam. So we'll be able to see how they do, evaluate them, and then specifically target their needs based on this for New York State testing. Another thing I want to share with the parents, on Friday, March 13th, I'll be doing another coffee crew, Kelly's Coffee Crew. So parents, if you're around and you're able to join us, we'll send out flyers next week. And we'll be doing, Maria, our parent coordinator, will be doing some arts and crafts with the parents that come. It'll be a fun event, 8:15 right after dismissal for about an hour. Come, if you could just join us for some coffee, some breakfast. And it'll be another fun morning. We also have parent teacher conferences next week. It's a half day on March 5th. That's next Thursday. All parents will be receiving a sign-up form to meet with the parents. The first afternoon session is from 12 o'clock to 2:20. Parents will be given a time slot to either do a phone call or a Google Meets or a Zoom. So if you want to, like, we're seeing each other face to face, or if a parent can't, they could just do a phone conference. Every parent will probably get about 10 minutes on that day. If any parent wants to come up to school and do in person, the teacher can arrange that and set that up during the day or before school starts, and we'll make arrangements. The evening session is 4:30 to 7:30. And again, there'll be time slots that parents could select and either do a phone conference or a Zoom or Google Meet, however the teacher sets that up. But that will be going home on Monday. Or maybe by Friday, so parents could pick out a time slot to speak with the teacher.
You might have to unpush it first to do that.
And I think that's really all on my end. Right now, I did ask teachers to send home devices now through the end of March, just in case there's snow coming up. I know had a snow day. I mean, I can count on one hand how many snow days, and I've been with the DOE since 1995. So, just so everyone has their device in case there's more bad weather coming. Pre-K and 3K teachers were asked to have the parents keep the devices at home because they don't travel with a school bag or that, so they'll stay home. And then students in grades K through 5, you should be seeing the device every night, but then also send it back in the morning. And that's it for me now. Anyone have any questions that they'd like answered now, or if you don't want to ask it in the group, you could reach out to Cassie or any of the PTA board or Maria, and they'll get me the question.
Miss Kelly, do you mind if I just tag on for a second?
Sure.
So on the screen right now, you should be able to see the QR code for the school survey. We're aiming for 100% participation in the school survey. Right now, we're just over 60%. Is that what you said earlier?
Yes, we're right around 60% now, between 50 and 60, because the mail-in surveys that parents want to fill out on the paper have to be sent in, and it could be 2 to 3 weeks before they're registered.
Okay, so that's great. A great
Yeah, very
percentage
happy.
so far, but we really want to encourage folks to fill out the survey. It is the best way to share your feedback with the school. It's the single best way for the school to get the most democratic sense of the desires of families. And so it really is an important survey to fill out. The other thing is, all of admin, the teachers, staff are working really hard to incentivize the survey. And so some classes, I think at least one, maybe 2 classes have already 100% participation. So we're aiming for all classes to get there. And there are prizes to be won. But Ms. Kelly was saying earlier, if we can get to 100% participation, every student in the school will enjoy a prize of some sort. So really, we're trying to incentivize in all the ways we can with physical incentives like prizes, but also with just the reminder that filling out the survey makes a huge difference in our voices being heard as parents. So I think it's really important.
And I want to add to that, Cassie, because parents might think they fill it out and goes into wherever. We have to look at parent surveys, and it's really the district, the city, and within the building have to really look at what the parents are requesting, what they're saying, and have to give feedback and reasons and why something went down. What is our plan to improve something that parents see? So it is effective. And it does help improve the school building based on parents' responses and what they think. And if everyone thinks it's great, it's getting better for this reason, then that's something we would focus on to continue to build upon. Anything in our building can be made better. Even though we think it's great, your kids think it's great, there's always a way to improve it for everyone, every child in the school building. So one other thing I did forget, it's on my list and I did not bring it up. Another important date in March is Discovery Day. The district is doing Discovery Day on March 26th. This year, we will be breaking it up into 2 sessions because the parents reached out. We heard what they said. Our parents in 3K and pre-K had a hard time dropping them off and then coming back in a half an hour, spending time with them. And then the 3K and pre-K kids wanted to go home with them. So, and they were crying, and then the parents felt bad, we felt bad. So what we're doing now for 3K and pre-K, Discovery Day will be in the afternoon at 1:00. So they'll spend from 1:00 to 2:20 in the room, and then they'll go home with them. And then kindergarten through fifth will be from 8:30 to 10:30. So if you have more than one child in the school in different grades, you'll be able to go to more than one class and see all your children's teachers and be able to spend time with that. Your students, your kids love when their parents are in that room. It doesn't matter what they're doing. They really enjoy when they get to share their day with their parents. So if you can make it and make arrangements, please try to get there. We would love to see a representative from every child's family there. I know moms and dads, I could never get to mine, but I made sure my husband or a grandma or an aunt and uncle, someone could spend the time in the child's classroom. So they can have a nice time with someone there. Okay.
We are hoping to tag on to Discovery Day again and potentially have another bake sale. We know that it was popular with families, and so we would like to try to do that again.
Yeah, and we spoke today about that SLT, and then PTA is more than welcome to set up and do that again.
The other thing that I wanted to share, you can see on the screen also, is PS60 now has their own Instagram account. It's fantastic. So you can use that QR code to find the new PS60 Instagram account, but you can also look on Instagram and see that it's at ps60.woodhaven and find it there.
And then I feel like we've been connecting and sharing out each other's information. So PTA, they post, and I have to thank you all that do it, lots of great neighborhood information and resources. So we'll share that out from your page. The District 27 loves our page. They share out what we're doing. We get to see also a lot of things going around in all the schools, because PS60 will follow all other school communities in the neighborhood. Will follow Chancellor, will follow everything related to DOE. And they follow us too. So they do share out anything that's posted on any of the PS60 pages. I have mine. The other APs have theirs. There's the PS60 overall Instagram. Then we have PTA. I'm sorry, my dog's barking. And then each grade now is starting to create their own too. So it's nice. Parents have, it's nice to see their children having a great time and having fun learning. And they love smiling and posing when we take Instagram pictures.
All right. So are there any questions or comments for Ms. Kelly?
All good?
Yeah, feel free to come off mute and speak if you have any questions or comments, or if you'd like to put it in the chat. I'll give it another
Hello,
second.
Miss Kelly.
Hi,
How are you? I just want to thank you. I appreciate what you're doing, and for the cleaning in the backyard. It was great, more accessible for the kids and safe. So thank you. Please thank the staff. I appreciate it.
And that is Chris and our custodian staff work tirelessly all from Sunday morning through even again today. And the Parks Department is supposed to be there. And I know we all watched the news report by the mayor, and they said the Parks Department was. And like when I got to work on Tuesday, Parks Department finally came and they did a little path. And I had spoken to Chris and I said, if you guys are able to during the day, can you clear that out a little bit more? And he went out and took care of the rest, another city block of removing snow that Parks Department should have moved.
Right.
And hopefully it's warmer today, and then it was warmer today and then tomorrow, and it's continuing. We do look at that. We only have so many workers that have to continuously move the snow, and now we need spots to put it. I also want to let everyone know Chris was able to get the spotlights on the mini building. And so at night it's so much brighter. They also got the gates in, so they're closing the parks at night.
Okay.
And the apartment building across the street put 4 high-powered lights also. So the neighborhood, if you're in the park, you'll see how much brighter it is. It's being watched and it's being closed, so we keep our community safer. So the outside, what goes on inside is very important, but what goes on in the community and surrounding the building is just as important. And I appreciate you noticing the difference with the snow. And I will share
Yes, please.
with Chris how parents were very happy and pleased with that. So thank you for letting us know that.
Thank you.
I just had a quick question in reference to the provided Saturday program for the state test. Would that be a form that's going to be sent out? Would that just be strictly only for a specific grade, or how will be the sign
Well,
up?
the grades, the grades that we'll have is for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And we're looking at kids that that the teacher recommends. If you are interested and you know that, bring that up during parent-teacher conference, because we are looking at a list and there is no one that can't come. But we would like to target kids that are right on 2s, trying to get to 3s, or 3s that probably might be slipping. But it's invitation. But if you are definitely interested, please send a note in tomorrow, or let Maria know, and we'll take down the name and look at the list. The Saturday programs, we're looking to have about 30 to 40 kids per grade. So there'll be space. And then during the break, we might be even more than that.
Oh, okay, because if the criteria is whatever you mentioned, my son doesn't qualify, but I will be interested because he's
Okay.
not either at a 2 or a 3, but I will be interested in something like that.
Okay, not a problem. Just let the teacher know, and we'll put them on the list. Who's the teacher?
Miss Bresnahan?
Okay, not a problem. No, and we have lots of children that get 4s, and could be 1 or 2 questions away from going down to a 3. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's why I'm
Or-
interested in it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Those kids are not, why shouldn't they say those kids? Any of the students are not, would not look at them, especially if they're asking for help and extra support. So that's not a problem. Just
Okay,
send Miss
perfect. Thank you.
Bresnahan, right, send Miss Bresnahan a note tomorrow, and I'll make sure I touch base with her.
Okay, perfect. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
You're welcome.
Ms. Kelly, there was a question in the chat about an issue with the buses. If someone has an issue with the bus and they're having trouble reaching the bus company, who should they speak to? Maria?
We have to reach out to the bus company the same way parents do. Sometimes the parents get a quicker reaction or response than we do. But if you cannot get in touch with the bus company, please in the morning, reach out to Kim, and we'll reach out as well. Today, Maria went through some with all the students on buses, because there is the bus app, and that's what they're telling us. Tell the parents to track the bus. But there's multiple layers on getting into that app and connecting with the right bus. So today, Maria sent home letters with directions and all the codes the parents needed to get on and connected with their child's bus route. And I know with the snow, I mean, it's hard for us driving around in cars. So I couldn't imagine driving a school bus around the neighborhood dealing with the snow.
Yeah, I saw a bus get stuck in front of the school yesterday when they were leaving around breakfast.
Right. So that's the best thing to do is.
Well, I'm
in the
sorry to
morning-
interrupt you, but the bus app, it doesn't work either. On Monday, my daughter didn't went to school. I did call the school. I let them
On-
know that I just had a surgery. I couldn't drop her off all the way over there, and
Right.
they still was called absent. It happened with my oldest, but thank God she didn't call absent. Today it was the same issue, and I totally understand. But I called the company. I e- I call. I was trying the app, and the app didn't work, and the bus got here at 8:30. My
Right. The
husband, by
buses,
that time, thank God my husband was here. So by that time, he
He
already
was
had
able
called
to
a
take them.
taxi,
No,
and he went to. But
I
we cannot call
apologize.
in taxis every day. It's just like $40 when usually charges $10 from here to over there. But the
Right.
$40 is just too much. Plus tomorrow they having a test, and if she's gonna get there late, I don't want her to get in trouble.
No,
Um,
any student that is on a bus is not marked late because we understand it's not the parents not getting to school or something happens. So any bus student is never marked late because you're relying on the bus. And it's frustrating, especially when you're waiting for a bus and the bus app is not working and you're not sure. And then if you think you missed it and now you have to try to stay at the bus stop and even getting around there. Hopefully with the snow, tomorrow is a much better situation. But if your child's on a bus, they're not going to be in trouble for coming to school late on the bus.
okay, especially if
And
it's like
a
a test
test,
day, right?
yes, absolutely.
Oh, okay,
Okay,
thank you. Oh, and another question I had.
sure.
I was trying, like I said, um, I'm recovering, so it's a lot of things I haven't able to get, but my Remind is not working. I have issues with my phone, so it's not their fault. I haven't texted the teacher, but last time I saw then the test, the pre-test, they sent one of the questions was wrong. The answers was wrong. It was a technical issue. I did reach out to the teacher. I asked questions. I said, if this happened in a test, that she's still gonna have it wrong, that what's gonna happen? I mean, this is happening right now when it's only like they studying for the test, so it
Right.
didn't matter if she got low. But I'm like, but the math test is coming very soon. How I'm gonna know that they got fixed the question? Because she answered it
Um,
correctly, but it was a technical thing. So it says there it was wrong, but it was not wrong. She answered it correctly, but it was technical. So I did reach out to the teacher. I sent a long note, and my
okay.
daughter said that the only thing the teacher said, it was like, "Oh, I know already." I
So
was
if the
like,
teacher
"Okay," but
knows
I did
already,
ask
yeah.
what will happen if it's going to happen to the test, and
Um,
she never responded back to me.
okay.
I said my reminder's not working. I'm sorry if I'm sending you a long note. But if you can just tell me what's gonna happen if it happens tomorrow to the test, or how I'm gonna know that it's working, and
Oh,
she's not gonna have it wrong again. It
for
was like
tomorrow,
two questions that they were wrong.
what grade?
Third grade, Miss Store.
Okay. I will check in with her, but unfortunately, even with the state test, they've given tests, and then if there is an error, they drop that question from every test. So it will not affect the grade. And if Miss Stewart was aware, I'm sure it did not affect your child's grade as well, but I'll confirm with her and speak with her.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like I said, she
Okay.
never reached back to me. I told her
Yeah.
since she got so many kids, so many things to do.
No,
But I
I
just wanted to
will.
know.
Yeah, I will reach out. And if with your phone's not working with Remind, you always can reach out to Maria on the school phone, even via text. And Maria's very good at getting the message to any teacher and
Okay.
responding. Okay.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
Maria,
it.
maybe you could put yours,
Kathy, thank you so much.
the phone number back in the chat. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
Thank you.
I have Miss Maria. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry about the bus situation.
No, thank you so much. I appreciate you answering my
Welcome.
questions.
No
Thank you so much to
problem.
the PTA. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question. Um, Last year you guys did because like my daughter can't really attend the Saturday program to help with
Right.
the test, but she wasn't doing it anyway because she's I know you guys have other kids and she's in one of the top classes. But I really liked the Miss Pearl's class that they did every day after school, which was like at 5:30, like
Oh, the virtual one.
yes,
Yes.
the crash course. And
Yes.
everybody was just waiting for everyone to like get home. Are you gonna do that again?
I have to see about the boot camp because funds
Okay.
are extremely low.
Okay.
And I know during break, more parents were asking if we could open up the building because it helps them in multiple ways.
Right.
So
I think they're
I
gonna
know
have after school
Miss
in the building.
Marzigliano loved that as well. It's not a
Yeah.
done deal that it's not happening, but as of tonight, there's no virtual boot camp. It's 4 Saturdays in
Okay.
March.
Okay.
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 And
No
as soon
problem.
as once I know and if I'm able to do it, we'll share it out on, with PTA so everyone
Okay.
is aware.
Yeah, the kids seem to enjoy it. So I just wanted to
Yeah.
let you know if it's
No,
something,
I know everyone worked it. It was a great thing.
Yeah.
It was like
I
5
loved it.
days.
Miss Pearl was amazing.
Yeah, with that.
She was
Okay.
really good. Yeah. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you for sharing that.
All right, any other questions or comments?
I have a question. I know that you mentioned that the program for science and STEAM is going to be for people with housing, and you say
No,
that
it's open for everyone. We're going to open it for everyone.
okay. So will be recommendation, or the student has to show interest or tell the teacher.
No, yeah, by next week we'll have an updated list
All right.
of students that will be coming that could attend.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. I don't want to rush us through. If there are any other questions or comments, I want to give everyone a minute. If not, we'll move on.
And then thank you everyone for joining tonight. Unfortunately, do have to jump off and join my own high school students PTA meeting. So if any other questions come up, keep them in the chat, and then Cassie and Maria, you could share out and give me the questions. Okay. Thank
Great.
you so much, everyone. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Take care.
All right, so then we are going to we're going to move on. So Title I, we do have an update, as you saw in the minutes, or as you saw or if you were at our meeting last time, you know that we voted on how to spend our Title I funds. So Andrea, I'm going to pass it over to you.
Good evening, everyone. It's a very quick update on this. So we spoke to Miss Kelly, the school, and the people at Togetherhood, and they were able to accommodate us for the two separate programs that we will run. As of right now, the expected date that we'll be having these workshops will be May 26th. It's looking like it has to be after school. We won't be able to do it during the school hours just to ensure more parent participation. So hopefully we'll get a lot of people to be able to attend. Just for a quick reminder, it was a STEM-based program. So the grades K through 2 will be doing uh I forgot the one. I'm sorry. My mind is going blank.
I think it was art through
Art.
STEM.
It was, yeah, art with STEM, and then the grades 3 to 5 will be doing like a flower dissection, but through STEM. And again, this is all supposed to be attended by a parent and a child. It wouldn't be able to be just the child. A parent, a guardian, or some kind of adult family member would be best. So most of the Title I funds will go to that. We're getting a full proposal, hopefully by the end of this week, if not by Monday. We are going to be registering for everything through their website, through Togetherhood's website, either tonight or tomorrow morning. And we should have more details, but we were able to do everything that we set out to do and what we voted for last month. And that's it.
All right. Are there any questions or comments about Title I or the STEM programs, that funding? Okay, so then I'm just going to reiterate that our Google form attendance sheet isn't working properly. So if you have not already, please put your first and last name in the chat so that that's how we'll be taking attendance today. All right, so then I'm going to, anything else about Title I before I move on?
Not for me.
All right, so I just wanted to start the president's report with a big like woohoo about family game night. It was our first ever family game night, and I think it was phenomenal. I would love to hear from anyone else, but I just included a few pictures here. We had almost 200 families sign in on that night. So, I mean, we had a ton of people. No, I don't, anyway. I think it was close to 200 people signed in that night. I don't remember. Anyway, it was great. We were able to, a lot of kids played games with their families. A bunch of parents jumped in. It was wonderful. We had rave reviews about dinner. So great job to all the parents that cooked. All the parents that helped volunteer to serve the food and set up and clean up. And it was just a truly wonderful event. It felt really special and a really nice thing to do on a Tuesday evening. The feedback that we've gotten so far about ways that we can improve are to move, or if we do it again, to try to do it on a Friday instead of a Tuesday. We were limited in the days that we could choose. So, we went with Tuesday, but that's definitely something we can keep in mind for next time. And then the only other feedback that we had gotten was that we could use more volunteers, which, is always the feedback because it would have been great to have had more help in the actual game room, but we needed a ton of help in the cafeteria. But it would have been great if we had more volunteers in the game room to help kids remember to take turns and give up their spot so other kids could take turns too. I could have also done a better job of making more announcements on the mic. I did it a couple times, but I could have done more for sure. I would love to hear any other feedback. If you enjoyed it, if there was something I didn't mention that you think, could have improved. We did buy another giant game for game night, which seemed to be a hit. So yeah, anything would be great. Any feedback? Oh, and shout out, I know I said shout out to the parents that volunteered, but shout out to the teachers that volunteered also. It was essential. Every person that helped was made a massive difference.
Oh, and Cassie, the volunteering of the kids who need
Oh,
high
yes.
school volunteer credits.
Yeah. So we've had a few volunteers, former PS60 alum that have come back to volunteer for their high school volunteer credits. They've been such a wonderful help. They've come to bake sales in the past and park cleanup, but they also came, one alum and came and brought a friend. They both volunteered at game night, and again, it made a huge difference. So we want to encourage folks that have older students, older children that are looking for ways to fill those volunteer hours. They're always welcome to come and volunteer at our events. We give them tasks that aren't too that don't require them to be like especially outgoing if that is something that frightens them. Like we give them a task that feels manageable and that they can feel good about.
Hey, Cassie,
Okay.
I just want to say, I volunteered for game night and I was able to bring food and it was so nice to see everybody come out. And the parents to come and see the kids' school and experience it with them. I just want to say, like, not to put a damper or anything, but we have to be very realistic for all those parents out there that, are saying, yeah, Friday, 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 then we need to double, double, double the volunteer amount of people because then Fridays means that 200 people is going to turn into 400 people. And, there was a lot of people doing double duty, which was great. It was exhausting at the end of the night, but it was great to be there for the kids. But if Friday is really something that everybody's super gung ho about, and it will be great for, for, everybody else's schedule. Then we really would need more people to step it up for those kind of nights.
Yep. I'll also add that one thing that I think that would encourage more people to participate, but also would make a big difference in participating is that when we have more volunteers, we don't need our volunteers to do multiple jobs through the entire time, right? We can set up in shifts so that our volunteers are able to volunteer and help, but then also spend time enjoying the event. Because I think every single one of our volunteers never had a moment to go see their kids playing in the room or play with them. But if we had more people signed up, more people helping, then everyone could, do a little bit of help and a little bit of play. And I think that would make a big difference too. All right. Any other feedback? Excellent. It was so fun. I can't wait to do it again. I will also say that Video Game Amateurs and Hallucinated Studios, the two companies that sponsored the event and donated all of their time, also both loved it and can't wait to come back and do it again. And that was with their donated time. So I think, I just can't wait to do it again. All right, so if there's no other feedback about game night, I'm going to move on. Okay. So upcoming events. We have, this is everything we have for the rest of the year, not including March Discovery Day bake sale, because I created the slide before I knew that date. So we can talk about that in a minute. But right now we have discussed having another park cleanup day around Earth Day. Earth Day, I think, is on a Wednesday or a Thursday, but we were thinking about either the week before or after, the weekend before or after. Phil, do you have anything you want to add about Earth Day park cleanup?
Yeah, either or works for me. Doesn't make a difference. I know the week of I could participate. I just won't be able to get the stuff and all that sort of stuff. I outside of that, I will be able to lead the charge, and I followed up with a couple people already, but
Phil, you got muted.
yeah, I'll start. Sorry about that. I'll start tonight or tomorrow doing the applications and whatever have you. The only caveat I have to find out is like the food thing. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Long story short, food. I think we're supposed to get permits now or something. I have to talk to community board about that. 'Cause there's like a whole new thing, and I'll tell you something off record too about bounce houses, which isn't pertaining to this, but something in the future. But yeah, outside of that, I think it should work out.
Phil, on a Saturday again?
Yeah, I think so. Saturday or Sunday doesn't make a difference to me.
Okay, great.
Or if somebody else wants to do it, if they want to do it during the week, I just know I can't. But either of those days, the weekend before or the weekend after, it doesn't make a difference on my end.
No, I think weekends are great, especially people who can't get there on weekdays.
Yeah. I mean, ideally, it's great if we could do it on Earth Day. It's kind of festive, but I think the window's extremely difficult and challenging. Like, you're talking about 2 hours and right after school and all that sort of stuff. And I thought the draw we got last year was good, so hopefully we get. I mean, last year. Hopefully we get the same amount or more.
So Phil offered to coordinate Earth Day, which is great. Thank you, Phil. What he was talking about in terms of picking things up, last time we did park cleanup, it was through Partnership for Parks, and so they brought a lot of the materials themselves, right? The rakes, those kinds of things. But we also did a pickup at the local sanitation,
Mhm.
what is it,
Right
warehouse
there on Atlantic.
station? Yeah, on
Yeah.
Atlantic over by the Van Wyck. It's like
Mhm.
2 blocks away from the Van Wyck. I've
Mhm.
done the pickup there too last previous year when we did it. It's very easy to go and pick up the materials, but Phil's saying that he just can't. If we do it during the week, he wouldn't be able to
Sure.
be the one that goes and picks it up. So if we wanted to do it during the week, we would just need someone else that could go do the pickup and drop off those materials. So you would need a car. But if we do it on the weekend, I agree. I think weekend brings out a different volunteer crowd, people that want to participate but only have the ability on the weekends. And I don't think we should mess with that. I think it's a great setup we've had. If there is a preference, if anyone has a preference for the week before or after or Saturday or Sunday, I think now's the time to address, now's the time to say it, especially if you would like to participate in the park cleanup. Now's a good time. It is.
I really had fun doing the cleanup. I like the turnout, and for me, it will work for a Saturday. I doesn't matter if it's before or after. So you want me to put in the chat or
Nope,
the
we've
date?
got it. You said it. We got it. All right. Thanks, Phil. All right, we're gonna keep going then. So, one new event that we would like to try to organize is a volunteer appreciation event. We were thinking something like a parents' coffee meetup or a parents' happy hour somewhere where, we are specifically inviting all of our volunteers, but we really want any parent in the school to come meet other parents, get to know each other, bring more people into the fold, so to speak, and just enjoy, being part of a community together. So that's something that we'll be taking up in the events and fundraisers committee. If anyone's interested in joining that committee or participating or helping to coordinate putting that together, please put that in the chat. We would love to add more folks to that chat and help, more folks helping to do that work. The same thing for a teacher appreciation. Last year we did teacher appreciation in June at the end of the year. We did just kind of like a beverage and dessert setup, and it was really, really popular. The staff really enjoyed it, and it would be great if we could do something like that again. Again, we need coordinators for that. So if you'd like to help with that, coordinating an event like that, like the teacher appreciation, really just means reaching out to someone like Helen, who is our volunteer coordinator, who can reach out to all of the volunteers to see if we can get donations or someone to go do pick up at Costco or something like that. I said it before and I've said it again. It can feel intimidating to take on a coordinator role, but if you've ever thrown a birthday party for your kid, then you have all of the skills needed to, coordinate any of these events. And we never ask anyone to do it totally in isolation. I especially am here to help walk folks through all of that. So, I'm here to give reminders and help with tasks and all of those things. But it really does help to have someone else kind of take it on if anyone is interested.
When is the teacher appreciation?
So we don't have a date yet. I believe Teacher Appreciation Day or like week is in April, March. Any staff on that knows? I don't remember. But last year we did it in June. We didn't do the teacher appreciation snacks and stuff during teacher appreciation week. We did it in June at the end of the year. So it's up in the air. We haven't planned it yet.
So
Oh,
it's an
okay.
actual day. It's teacher appreciation. It's like an actual day on the calendar.
There is a teacher
Yes.
appreciation day on the calendar.
Okay.
Teacher
Only
appreciation week is in May 4th to the 8th. We could do it then, but last year we really did it as a full staff appreciation and
yeah,
anyone.
that's what I was gonna say. Like the whole staff, like the paras, the
Yep,
security guards, the
yep,
janitors, like they
yep.
all do
The
like
custodial staff,
yeah, like
the cafeteria
we
staff.
appreciate all of them. Not just the teachers. I know it's a lot more money. You know,
Mm,
it's I know it's the
y-
whole staff.
usually it's called Teacher Appreciation Day, but it is for everybody in school. But it's just called like that, Teacher Appreciation Day, from
Right. So
what
we
I know.
could do it in May or we could do it in June. Again, it's really more about when there are people, if someone is able to coordinate it, when they're able to coordinate it, we have some flexibility there. Otherwise, we can bring it to the events and fundraisers group committee and hope that someone in there is able to take on the task.
How many
Oh,
volunteers did you have last time? Because I don't think you had a lot because it was kind of also last minute.
I believe I set it up myself.
Yes, you did.
Um, so the actual setup does not require a lot of people. It's really the coordinating it up until that point. And then part of coordinating is finding people to go do the setup. Okay.
well, if it's around April or
Mariela
May,
said in the
I
chat,
can do it.
Mariela said in the chat she's able to help coordinate Teacher Appreciation Day. Great. Lucia, sorry, what was that?
No, she already got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Excellent. But again, if anyone wants to help coordinate volunteer appreciation, that would be a new type of event, either figuring out a happy hour, a coffee time, something like that. I'm happy to help someone, look for, talk someone through kind of what we were thinking as the officers.
Yeah, I can help too. If it's around April or May, hopefully by that, I'm much better.
Yep. Thank you. That's great. Okay, so we have Mariela that will help facilitate teacher appreciation, and Lucia is going to help with volunteer appreciation. I'll be in touch with both of you to kind of get that ball rolling. Like I said, you don't have to do it alone, but totally appreciate someone else taking on putting their name on it. Okay, so are there any thoughts about either of those things? Does a new volunteer appreciation parent meetup, are there thoughts about it? Do you have a preference of the kind of event that could be, or you think it sounds terrible? Any thoughts are appreciated and welcome.
I
For
think
me,
it
sounds
sounds.
good.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, no, I think it sounds good. I would just, I mean, I guess obviously maybe do like some type of poll. Like for me, I don't, whatever it is, but like I guess the big key component would be if it's during the day, after school, at night, whatever have you. You know what I'm saying? I think that would be the only recommendation I would give outside of that.
I think it'd be nice to do like something where we support like a local business. Maybe like we can all meet up at Nears, have some, we don't have to drink, but like just some appetizers or something,
Yeah,
on a Friday night or something, support their business. Maybe they'll come support, the PTA someday.
yeah. There's also what's the other place? J Brew. But yeah, no, I'm with it.
Yeah, there are a couple different places that we've thought about. Nears would be great, but it is on the smaller side, depending on how many people we think would show up. There's Pops right on Jamaica, it's a little bit bigger. There's Puerto Plata, which is, on the farther side of Woodhaven, but very, very large. There are lots of different places. I think that was the idea too for us, was that, there are lots of different places that we could go to and support. And also use the opportunity to chat and just get to know each other a little bit.
I know a
I'll-
place, but it's kind of far, so I don't know if that's an issue.
Which place?
Um, it's in Brooklyn. It's Mexican food, but the prices are not bad, and and if we tell them that it's a school event, they even give you a discount, like they take the taxes off or something like that. It's
What's
on
it called?
Bushwick, Tulula. It's on Bushwick. It's right on Wyckoff and Manhattan, right in the corner. It's not a fancy place. It's a very, how can you say it? I don't know, very
Local.
aesthetic. Yeah, very local. There you go. But the food is very good. It's very fresh. They cook it every day. And like I said, if we tell them that it's like a school event, and for example, we say 6 or 7 people are gonna show up, they give you a discount. Like they take off the taxes or they take you 10% off. It has no liquor in there. But they do have like pina coladas and stuff like Virgin. Like I said, it's not fancy, but the food is very, very good. The only bad thing that like it's in Bushwick.
It's
That's
far. It's far. Far. I know where that is. It's pretty far. For like I feel like for the first time, I think we should try to
Helen,
coordinate something closer, just to get people to come and before we branch out to something so far away.
I also would just like to say, I'm gonna move past that because we haven't decided exactly where, when, how this is gonna happen. But I think everything is a lovely idea. But also take it a little bit a step further, since for the most part, most of the parents who are on the PTA meetings tend to be the similar ones, etc., the same ones. So what we would encourage, what we spoke about yesterday in passing, was we would encourage each parent to possibly bring someone else who may be a little shy, that they don't, they don't know how to approach being a volunteer or getting more involved, etc. And it would be really nice that it's, yes, I would love to meet everybody in person and speak to everybody the way we do in general. But it would also be really nice to have to invite maybe a friend of yours that is a parent at the school, who does have great opinions and does have wonderful suggestions, and just bring them along, just so that they can see that we just want to build more community, and their participation is really what we're looking for, and not just a hangout necessarily, but like turn it into also some kind of a networking amongst the parents meeting. So just throwing that out there, just so we can think of places that might be a little bit that could accommodate possibly larger crowds. Doesn't need to be huge, but just in case we end up getting one extra person to every person that normally would attend.
um, sorry, I just saw the chat. I like the idea of branching out eventually. The original idea, the original like formulation for this event had been to support local businesses and have parents meet each, so that one, we could continue to build the relationships that we've begun to build in the neighborhood, right? So that when we reach out later on about other things, we've been supportive, then, we get a little reciprocal relationship there. But I think the other part of it was that then we start to, like Andrea said, build our network out within our community, right? So we know which parent to reach out to when we need like our computer's broken, and who's like the IT person in the neighborhood. Who do we reach out to when we need a pediatric dentist? Who do we reach out to? You know, like all of those connections exist within our community, but no one knows who anybody else is. And so I think it'd be great when we need a realtor, when we need, you know, like all of that exists within our community. And so I think it's really great if we're doing all of that networking to one, have parents get to know each other a little bit better, learn more about what we can offer each other within our community, and then start to build those relationships so that, yeah, we become more of that like spider web network, right? So that we're building more community outside of just what we're doing in the PTA too. And I think also to Andrea's point, a lot of those folks that, you know, we're friends with in, you know, we are friendly with in our child's classes, but that don't necessarily come out for one reason or another to PTA events typically, may want to come to something that they can walk to and just like hang out. You know, I can think of a few parents in my son's class that if I reached out to and said like, hey, we're going to have appetizers at Nears, like, why don't you come join, would probably come, as opposed to if I said like, we're having a fundraiser or we're having an event, like come volunteer. So, right. And then we get them in the room and we meet each other. They get to meet other parents and are more likely than later to come help with things. All right. Okay. So I see some Puerto Plata, I mean, it's a mile from the school, but it's in Woodhaven, and I live a mile from the school. It's in like, it's in the, what's it called? It's in the zone for the school. And on my block, we're like the last block in Woodhaven is, we have at least 3 other kids from PS60, all that live on our block. So like it's everyone between here and Woodhaven Boulevard that like all are zoned for the school. So Nears I do think is a nice central location. Pops I think too is a nice like central location. It's more in the middle between the end of, you know, where Woodhaven ends and Brooklyn starts and the school, but you know, whatever. So options. And then I see Phil added another suggestion, so we can look at that one too. Okay, great. So I'm going to move on because there are a few other things we need to talk about. And I think it's good to have feedback so we can start planning that. Okay, so the end of year carnival, we'll talk about our funds in the next report, but we have the funds to hold our one-day carnival. So now we need to start looking at quotes. To Phil's point, I know that there's a new Parks Department rule that you can't have bouncy houses in parks. So that is something we need to talk about. I don't know. Oh, go ahead, Phil.
So that I'm gonna ask the parks community. I was on it. I missed part of the call. Hey guys. I just wonder is like there's Equity Park, which is one thing. I just don't know how it falls with like the playground. Like is the playground, as much as we know, like where we did it last year, is that part of PS60 or is that part of Equity Park?
So as far as I understand, and staff can feel free to jump in and correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as I understand, it is, you know, the soccer field, all of that is part of a public park, but that during school hours, the school has like domain over that section. That's why they have recess and stuff in that area. The other thing that I understood about the no bouncy houses in parks rule is that they're really trying to protect grass. And so they say no bounty houses in parks so that you're not staking bounty houses into the grass, but we don't have grass. And so if it's on the concrete, could that make a difference to getting a permit? I also don't know, this would be helpful to have someone on staff if anyone knows the answer to this. I've only been part of putting on the event once, and so I don't know what goes into the permit. I don't know if there's a permit that the school applies for us to do the carnival, or if we just haven't had a Parks Department permit and held the carnival. I would imagine that if we don't need a permit because it's during school time, during school hours when school has reign over the park, then that would be different than if we actually had to put in a permit, then we could get rejected. So that would be important for us to know. Go ahead, Phil.
So I just know, like, because it was at the community board meeting last week, or 2 weeks ago, I'll reach out, the number one who's on top of advocating for all this stuff not to occur is Ariola. So her, like, so, like, I guess we could reach out for, confirmation. I'll do that with the parks. School could do their thing, but also if, God forbid, she's all about the bounce houses. So just to give you a heads up.
That she's about not having the bounce
No,
houses?
no,
Oh,
she's like, her chief of staff was there saying that basically they were going to advocate on behalf of
got it.
not even just schools, but just like
Right.
they're pro it.
Right. Okay. Got it. Well, that's good to know because then maybe they'll help sponsor a bounce house.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it potentially.
Yeah.
Fast. Mhm.
Okay, so to that end, Phil, if you could reach out to get that information for us, that would be very helpful. And then what we need are folks to start reaching out to companies to get quotes. We have the company that we've used the last couple of years and we should get a quote from them, but there are other bounce house businesses that also exist in the neighborhood. What company is it? It's I want to say it's like Epic. Do you remember what's Mega Events is what it's called. And they are Woodhaven based. Last year I went and dropped off the check at the owner's home, which is like 3 blocks from the school. So it is Woodhaven based, but there are also other Woodhaven based party planning bounce house companies if we wanted to stay local, but I think it makes sense to see the prices that exist and, go with the most reliable, but also most cost effective for us. Is there anyone on the call that would like to help with some of that quote acquisition? Phil said he'll reach out to All-in-One Entertainment. Okay. That'd be great. I also know the owner of the Party Solvers, and she has a connection to a bouncy house person, so I can ask her also. How many are we looking? So since we're planning to do a 1-day carnival instead of a 2-day carnival, we are looking at more bouncy houses than we typically would want to get in a single day so that we could have big kids, in the main section where we normally have it, and then maybe little kids in that volleyball area where we had the back to school bash, so that we could have maybe, instead of, I think we had 4 or 5 bouncy houses last year, maybe doing 6 or 7 this year, so that we could have multiple, more than one grade potentially at a time. We could do, 3K through first grade in the little kid-ish section, and then the big kids in the other section going at the same time so that everyone can fit into one single day. Which would be a little bit more it would obviously cost more per day, but cost less overall than having 2 days of 4 or 5 bouncy houses, right? And then the other thing to know is we want to start as close to 8 o'clock as possible. So starting at around 8:15 and then going as close to 2 o'clock as possible, cleaning up around 1:30 so that the schoolyard is clear for dismissal at 2. Okay, if anyone would like to help with any of that, it's a great kind of task to do like at night while you're scrolling, right? Reach out to folks that you see on Instagram or that you find in June. We don't have a date for the carnival yet. We typically look at the last week in May for the carnival or the first week in June. The last week in May is preferable because it's not as hot, but the first week in June is fine too if we need. And typically when I reach out, that I will say something like that, you know, we're looking for the last week in May or the first week in June, you know, can you help with prices? And we can usually get a quote that way. Okay, great. So we have Lucia and Priscilla and yep, go ahead, Helen.
I think that you need to now start a carnival committee chat.
Yeah, so
Because it's just so much information. Like I'm listening to it right now and I have to write all this down.
Yep.
Because if I do want to help, I want to call, but I also need to like now figure out how many, this is one day. Now I've done
Yep.
carnival for years. And it's now, if we're fitting all this in one day, we need all those volunteers for one day and we have to split the shift. It's just so much. You know, I think people who've never done it, it's like, this is it. Our kids are so happy that we have to make this happen in one day. And it's hot. And we got to figure it out. So I think there's going to have to be a chat for this. Also,
Totally.
too, and if any of what the paras or I know the teachers that have any connections too, it would be really helpful.
Yeah, mega events that we've been using is a school connection, which is great. So if we can stay with mega events, absolutely, we'd love to. I think we just have to do our due diligence to make sure we're getting a good price, you know?
And do you have to rent that space? That's because the schoolyard we're allowed to use during school hours, right? The soccer field, that part that we always have the carnival.
Cassie, can I
We're
jump in real quick?
Yes, Miss
Hi,
Piscietti, go ahead.
Hi, good to see everybody. Thank you for joining tonight. So we're not 100% sure on what is required in terms of permits. We did think that in the past we did have to get permits because when the carnival people come in to unload the equipment, they have to bring trucks into the area. And then there's also the speakers, you know, they play music, the sound outside. So we do think we would need permits for the carnival. As for the tennis court area that or the soccer, were you referring to? Yeah, right. I was a resident of Woodhaven my entire life. They used to be tennis courts back in the day. But technically, I do not believe that is our property. But we will verify everything and we will get answers for you tomorrow.
Thank you. That'd be great.
Are we still ever thinking about doing it on a Saturday or no?
Okay, so the big issue with having it, and Claudia, I see your hand, but the big issue with having it on the weekend is that we automatically lose a big, we will lose a big portion of students. And if we want to guarantee the most student participation, like guarantee that as many kids can possibly participate, we need to have it during the day because they're going to be at school. On the weekend, we can't guarantee, you know, kids don't live close by, especially the kids that are rehousing, kids that are bused, all of that. You know, it's the only way to ensure that every single student has the opportunity to go.
Okay, I agree. I agree that you just made great points. Like we want to do this for the PS60 kids, and we don't even know if we're gonna, you know, you might get kids from other schools, which is fine. But if we want to do these for these PS60 kids, we should keep it during the week.
Yeah, I have no problem with in the future doing something like a block party or, you know, whatever, where we invite the whole community. But if we want to prioritize at least having our kids there, then I think having it during the day is important.
Yeah, actually,
Claudia, you
Helen and I attended last year a kind of like sort of event like that for PS 97. It was a weekend kind of situation, and we actually spoke to the teacher and the PTA staff that were running it, and they required like TD permits because it had to be like a police officer like at the end of the block to ensure safety for the kids because essentially like the street was going to be closed so the kids can walk to and from the school, and it was very in depth. When you bring in the weekend situation, like a lot of more issues I guess arose instead of it just a weekday during school hours.
that makes sense. Claudia, go ahead.
Hi guys. Certainly don't want to add to, talking this to death. Maybe this could be the group committee, but since admin's still on the line, I wonder if we can finally add some sort of snack or food to the carnival day, finally. I know it stopped after COVID. I know it was something in the past, many, many years ago. And we just got our fundraising to be able to still have the carnival, but are we in a place where we can, and I'm happy to be a part of this, this topic of the carnival, like some sort of food or snack, or is there limitations, or what can I do or we do to just send the kids off with something other than just like a little cup of water at the end to really just highlight that carnival feeling, whether it's a candy apple, something that's pre-made, pre-wrapped. There's always those ladies and gentlemen right outside the schoolyard selling cotton candy, maybe speaking to them and seeing what kind of bulk order we can order from them. I'm happy to do that, but only if that is allowed. Is that something we can?
I can't speak for Miss Kelly, but I do have a feeling she would be totally fine with adding snacks back in. So in terms of what we would be able to, we'll have to talk more about that. The things with snacks always comes with allergies, right? That's
Right.
never. We have parents that send in things for children's birthdays and things like that. It always has to have the pre-printed ingredient list so that we make sure that we're looking out for everybody. But I know that we'll be able to find something. So hopefully Ms. Kelly will be okay with me saying that, but I'm pretty sure it will happen.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, and Claudia,
I do, just because Ms. Piscadri just said something that always made me think when we've had like the reindeer run, and then the school has provided chocolate covered pretzels and things like that's not necessarily store bought or
No.
labeled. So where's where's that deciding factor of when it has to be packaged peanut free and when we can make homemade stuff?
Great question. But on those events, when the parents are invited and they're the ones that are purchasing for their children. So if it's something where somebody's sending product in for the class or something like that, everything has to be, labeled and prepared, by a store where they list the ingredients. If it's something, I totally get what you're saying, because we even had cotton candy and different things available during the reindeer run. But that was for the parents to purchase. Even hot chocolate we had, right? But we wouldn't necessarily give that to the students ourselves. That's the thing that we ever do. So as long as it's something that if the parents are there, if we had something for purchase, that's different. If we're providing it, we just have
That
short
That
allergies.
actually may open us up to be able to do something small that we 100% know is peanut free guarantee, and then a little stand of additional stuff to purchase. I know this could be decided much later on, but I really would love to be a part of bringing that back. I don't know if everyone agrees.
Helen, I see you. Just a second. So there's a couple things with the parks change with bouncy houses. There also came a change that requires anyone even giving out water to their volunteers. Like there are so many restrictions now around what happens during events and food in the parks. It's why we didn't have anything at our back to school bash, because we're very limited without getting like trained health and safety stuff. Like we need a separate permit and separate training in order to be able to like even give out stuff to just our to like have a coffee urn now for our volunteers. So even something like a bake sale, like we've hoped to do, or a popcorn stand that we sold to parents, something like that, is now very difficult to do in the park. If, for example, we moved a bake sale into the gym during the carnival, that would be much easier to do. But it's very, very difficult to do it in the park now. But again, we would need to know if it is the park during school hours. If it's not the park that during school hours, then maybe we don't, need all of those restrictions might not apply to us. So there's still a lot up in the air that I don't think we should even continue with this conversation until we have those answers.
Got it.
So yeah, there's a lot. There's
Can
a
I
lot with
just ask you one question about that?
Yes.
So when you're saying restrictions with the park, are you specifically referring to that other area because that may not be ours, or are you also referring to our regular schoolyard?
The regular schoolyard.
Okay, just so that I can clarify when I speak to Miss Kelly.
I think clarification would be great if because if it's a matter of having a table in the soccer field rather than the tennis court, great, like easily fixed. But if it means like not being in any of those public spaces at all, obviously that makes a big difference.
Right. And if it's something for the kids, we can always give that out in their classrooms.
Exactly.
Once they're in the building, but then again, it's not something parents would purchase. That's something we're just giving. So we'll be able to figure something out, but we'll continue that conversation.
Okay, great. I love all of this. Helen, you're going to be the last person about this, and then we're going to move on. Anyone that wants to have any input about the carnival at all is encouraged to join that events and fundraisers group. That is the group of people that will be working on the carnival. Helen, go ahead.
I mean, we can also have the icy ladies out there all the time. Icies don't really have that many. I mean, I don't know anybody has, I don't want to insult anyone has an icy allergy, but even a smaller cup than what she sells now, we can have the kids after they're done, just like the lady can scoop it. We can find out how much it costs, and they can bring it into the classroom and eat it, after they're done jumping from the carnival.
Yep. Or we do popsicles that we give out in
something like that. I mean,
yeah. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate all of this enthusiasm, and I encourage everyone to join that group. Okay, so the next thing, I really want to rush because Andrea has another appointment she needs to get to pretty soon, and I want her to be able to give the fundraising the treasurer's report next. But the next thing is we need to convene our PTA elections committee. The elections committee's role is to hold the PTA elections for the PTA board. That means their job is to put out an information to the parents that say the election is happening, what the roles of the members of the board are, president, treasurer, and secretary. We would also need to decide if we want to continue the vice president role, add another secretary role, things like that. We can discuss, but the election committee would be responsible for putting out that information. And then as parents nominate themselves for the election, they are the ones that would then collect that information and then hold the election in May. The two caveats are no one that, or I guess really the one thing is If you are planning to run for the PTA board, you cannot be on the PTA elections committee. So, for example, if I would like to be president or treasurer or secretary, and I want to run in the election, I cannot be on the election committee, and also current members of the board cannot be on the election committee. So again, this is the kind of task. Oh, also staff cannot be on the election committee. I've seen some teachers reach out in the chat privately about like ways they, asking for ways that they can help. I so appreciate it. This is not one of them. Staff cannot be on the election committee. Staff of our school. You can be a teacher at another school if you're a parent or a staff DOE staff member, as long as you don't work at PS60. You could be on the election committee. I would like to hear from anyone in the call that has served on the election committee in the past. I think it would be helpful to hear from you what you thought of the experience. I think it could encourage or help people understand what the role entails. So I think the two people that were on the committee that are on the call right now were Phil and Mariela. If either of you would like to jump in.
Hi, it was a great experience. You get to tell the description of the positions that are open for election, and then you help count the votes. It has to be in-person voting for that day, and the more people go, the better. But anyone is eligible if they have a kid in the school, and then they just have to give a statement what they would like to volunteer to be part of the PTA committee or the PTA officers, and be willing to serve in that capacity. I had a good experience, and if no one is willing to do it, I might be able to do it this year as well.
Yeah, it was cool. From what I recall, it was like Maria said, it was from what I recall, primarily just making sure that the description met what the expectation was of what people were supposed to be doing, or be aware of, for lack of better words, like know what you're going to be doing and what the roll calls for, so forth and so on, and then the logistics were counting the votes.
All right, so thank you both very much. So we do need 3 people.
It wasn't a lot of time either. I think altogether we spent like 7 minutes. I mean 7 hours, not 7 minutes. But it wasn't like a big like, oh my gosh, it's gonna take hours from what I recall. So.
I think also it was primarily like through text and WhatsApp, and someone decides to take on the task of making the flyer. They send it to us on the PTA, who sends it to admin to print and send to the parents. Like, it's not it's and we're not starting from scratch. All of these materials exist already. So we do need 3 people to serve on the election committee. If you are interested in serving on the election committee, it would be extremely helpful to convene that committee tonight. So can we get 3 people who like to count and don't mind text groups, I guess? That's really like the gist of it. All right, Taylor, that's 1. 2 more.
I'm sorry, I walked away for a second. What was this for?
We need an election committee. Jody, sorry, just check the bylaws, and I might be incorrect in that you can't run and be on the election committee. You might be able to, he's saying that's wrong. You can run and be on the election committee. But I would imagine you can't count the votes you just can't count the votes. Okay, so still 2 more people. Taylor is 1.
We have to be there though that day you guys do the election, right?
I'm sorry?
At least
Do you have to be there? Do you have to be?
At least one person from the committee has to be there on that day. And if we needed to pull from the room to help count, other people can count. Just the people running can't count.
Oh, okay. Got it. Okay, I'll be the second with Taylor.
All right, so we have Taylor, Helen, Mariela, and Andrea said she'll do it if she can run. So that's 4. Great. Election committee convened. Thank you very much. Very appreciated. Okay, and that brings us to the PTA committee.
Damn, I miss it.
That Lucia, you were interested in joining the election committee?
I can be an assistant secretary, an assistant of something, because I don't know how my time is gonna be, but I can still definitely help.
Okay,
I'm
cool.
so sorry
That's great.
if I
No.
curse. I was not sorry.
No, it's fine.
But
Okay,
yeah,
I'm
assistant
gonna put you
something.
all in touch with each other. Taylor, Andrea, Mariela, Lucia. Oh, sorry, Lucia, were you saying you wanted to join the elections committee or you wanted to run for an officer's position? Or both? Both is also fine.
Both is fine.
Okay. So, sorry, it was Taylor, Andrea, Mariela, someone else said, no? Who?
Helen
I think
did.
it was Lucy.
Helen. Okay. Helen and Lucia. Great. I'm going to put the 5 of you in touch with each other. Thank you very much. I'm going to, so the other thing that I want to go through really quickly, our PTA committees. We have our events and fundraisers committee now, a communications committee, and a grant writing committee. Those have been convened, but are not actively working on tasks yet. So my goal between this meeting and the next meeting is to start getting the ball rolling on things happening in those chats. Those chats exist to kind of get all of that work started. So I think, again, it's not for a lack of desire to get that work started. I think it's more just shyness of the folks in the chat not wanting to jump in, not for a lack of being proactive. So I will do a better job of trying to get those more active. If anyone would like to join any of those chats, again, it's the events and fundraisers committee is one. As the name suggests, that group exists to help plan events and fundraisers. There's the communications committee whose role is to improve our communications. And then the grant writing committee, again, to try to harness the wealth of funds that exist in our state to bring that money to our school. And so you don't have to be an excellent writer to join the grant writing committee. Even a mediocre first draft is a great help to then, give to the folks in the board to polish and send off to try to get those grants. So if you're interested in joining any of those grants, please put that in the chat and we'll make sure to add you to those. But I'll also put the links for those in the PTA member WhatsApp group. Staff is welcome to join these groups. Staff can join committees. So if there are teachers or anyone interested in joining any of these, we would love to have you. Okay, I'm going to, sorry, is there anything else about the committees before we move on? I really want to move on so Andrea can do the treasurer's report for her before she has to go. Priscilla, appreciate that. Thank you. Excellent. Someone else would like to join the grant writing committee. I love to hear that. Excellent. Okay, I'm going to keep it moving. Andrea, go ahead.
Good evening again, everyone. Sorry, Cassie, I can't see whether or not you have the
I do.
treasurer report up. Hold on, I just had my copy as well and lost it. So as you can see, we started off the month at $10,247.92, which is a great amount of money to begin the month of January with. We sorry. We did get a parent donation of $15. I believe that was a t-shirt. For picture day, we were able to cash a check for $1,583.29. Holiday Boutique, we made $3,293. And then we closed out the old bank account that we had, and we transferred it over to the new bank account, and that was $4,002.21. So technically we brought in 19,100, or we would have $19,141.42. If of course we hadn't made any payments or bought anything during the month of January. We did do a reimbursement check of $3,526.79. And we did have to pay for the holiday boutique inventory, which was $3,615.52. So in the month of January, we spent $7,142.31, which left us with a total for the month of January of $11,999.11, which puts us in a really good place. I do also want to mention that even though it's not on this, we did talk about our last fundraiser with the the parents' night out with the kids. Sorry, the video game one. Uh, we made almost $1,000 that night. It's not shown here, but I thought that it's so important for us to say something about that because everything was basically a parent donation. It was almost pure profit at that point. And I just want to thank all of the parents who were there, who gave wonderful support, kind words, volunteered, donations, because that was super helpful and it's going to put us in a really great place next month. So that is it for the January treasurer report.
I just to add to the treasurer's report. So if you look at the holiday boutique and then what we brought in versus what we spent, it looks like we lost money on the holiday boutique, which honestly would be fine. You know, like we do it because the kids enjoy it. But this amount of money is what we had to pay for the inventory, and we will be getting money back from the company because we didn't use all of that inventory. So everything that we sent back we'll get reimbursed for, and so that amount will change a little bit, and so then we'll get a little bit more. The other thing that's coming that isn't reflected here is picture retakes, and 5th grade pictures happened at the beginning of February. The proofs just came in. I have to go into school and distribute those, and then once those orders come in, we'll get a little bit of money from that also once parents order those pictures. So I agree with Andrea. We're in a good place for our end of year commitments. Are there any comments or questions about the treasurer's report? It is great news because we've been very stressed up until this point about if we would be able to pay for all of the commitments we have at the end of the year. The biggest commitment obviously being the end of year carnival, but also commitments like half of the cap and gown costs for 5th grade graduation and our participation in the 5th grade dance are the big 3 that we hope that we are previously committed to. Okay, then thank you, Andrea. I'm going to move on. Okay, so is there any old business that needs to be discussed? Anything that we've spoken about before that folks want to talk about? Okay, anything new that we haven't discussed that folks would like to talk about? Even if we don't, have a robust conversation, if there's something of concern, now would be a great time to bring it up, and then we can either discuss it now or table it for later.
No, me. Thank you. I'm all good. You guys doing a wonderful job. Being a PTA is very hard. So
Appreciate it.
appreciate everything you guys do and the volunteers. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. If there's nothing, then we can adjourn. Appreciate everyone staying on. Again, if you didn't put your name in the chat, first and last name, please put your first and last name in the chat. That's how we're taking attendance today. Appreciate everybody. If you have something that we haven't addressed, or you have a last minute something you'd like to chat with anyone on the board about, feel free to stay on. Otherwise, we'll adjourn, and I'll wait a minute or two before I end the meeting.
Bye, Cass.
Bye. Thank you.
Do we know what date for the Earth Day thing? Because I got to send out the
Have a
stuff.
good night, guys.
Good night. I think right now the only preference was for a Saturday. So it's up to you if you have a preference for.
What do you think's more festive? Do you think it's better before or after?
I would think after.
Okay, cool. I'm sold. Sorry, I got somebody bugging out here.
Good night, everyone. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. No worries, Phil. I was crashing out over the snow earlier. So,
No, so the 20, so we're looking at 25th. Okay, cool.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to stop recording.